Have you ever tried to make 5,000 waffles with a single waffle maker? Me either, because that would be dumb. There are lots of things like waffle makers that work really well for small quantities or on a small scale, but they don't work well on a larger scale unless you make some major adjustments. Believe it or not, pure Republican government is one of those things. In this video, we'll talk about how traditional republics don't scale up very well and how to change them so that they work. Let's use an example of a solar system. A single planet operating as a representative democracy may do pretty well. The problem is that this single planet or republic doesn't live and work in isolation. So what happens when another strong planet or nation comes along seeking to conquer this small, peaceful republic? The more powerful nation, which in many cases has been organized as an empire or some form of autocracy, will come in and steamroll over the smaller republic. The reality is that an individual city-state or small republic usually isn't sufficiently strong to defend itself against larger enemies. But what if our little planetary republic decided to reach out to other planets and form some sort of alliance, a federation of planets, if you will, with a mutual defense pact? They won't have any form of central government with power to make or enforce laws, but it's nice to not be alone in the universe. More importantly, the next time a large enemy tries to attack any one planetary republic, the Federation can join forces to fight him off, but otherwise still operate as largely independent republics with no centralized government. Each planet just kind of does their own thing. So what's wrong with this? Loosely associated planetary republics seem like a great idea, right? Well, sort of. As more and more diverse and independent republics try to join together under one federation, without any real central authority to unite them, it causes problems. The planets under the federation may be geographically, culturally, economically, linguistically, or socially quite distant or different from each other, leading to misunderstandings and significant conflict for power. Philosopher Don Livingston described how in the pre-empire days of the Roman Republic, without central authority to reconcile differences and establish things like uniform laws and currencies across a large territory, serious problems resulted. This is often when an individual, group, or in the case of our example, a single power-hungry planet will step up and take power for themselves. This could result in an empire or some other kind of autocracy. This planet or emperor may be decisive, help unify the various planets, and in the short term, solve some of the conflict through the use of centralized authority. But he may also become a selfish tyrant, mistreating, disregarding, or brutally marginalizing particular groups. And while the planet in power certainly likes this political structure and may have some fans in favor of law and order and decisiveness, almost inevitably there will be disgruntled planets within the empire who seek to overthrow the apparently corrupt leader. In short, while small republics with decentralized authority can be nice on a small scale, they are not equipped to solve larger problems, such as defense against large enemies. A federation of small republics can help defend against enemies, but if the federation becomes too large without any centralized authority to unite and manage them, it can lead to indecision, ineffectiveness, and chaos. The same principles that work on an individual planetary scale don't work as well on a large scale. On the other hand, complete centralized authority, as in an empire, may be decisive, but might also make selfish decisions that don't represent the interests of the people. To scale up effectively, each republic must be willing to give up some autonomy through what Thomas Hobbes and other philosophers have described as a social contract, in order to grant a specified amount of authority to their federation or joint government. This central government can then help unite the various republics, uphold rule of law, and solve larger federation-wide problems. Scholar Koos Malan adds that in the Hobbesian framework of social contract theory, a permanent duty rests upon the ruler or ruling council to protect the interests of each and every contracting individual. If the republics fail to grant their federation any authority, there will almost inevitably be ongoing conflict between individual planets or republics. Or else some planet will take power for itself and cause even more problems. Rest assured, if you don't like the idea of giving a centralized government any power, John Locke argued in his second treatise of government that political power, which every man has given up to the governors, or in this example, the central federal government, originates from compact and agreement and the mutual consent of those who make up the community. In other words, the central government only has as much power as it is granted by the constituents, and should it fail to fulfill its responsibilities, it can be dismantled, taken apart, and we can try again. Thank you.